Christmas. It's a great Christmas movie, old fashioned from the late 1990s. It has a character named Jake, who's a college kid, and he's trying to get home to visit his family for Christmas. He has to get there by Christmas Eve at 6 p.m. And if he does, he will get a free Porsche from his dad. But the problem is, he's going from California to New York, and he has been left stranded in the middle of the desert in California, and he has to get back and cross the entire United States within within a few days. And the movie follows his story to try and get there. Um, and so, what I liked about this film, and it's something I felt that was a very big travel angle, was the fact that this character is you like he has no money, and he all he has is just the clothes on his back, and he is wearing a Santa outfit that's glued to him. And what I feel like this movie really hits on is how when you travel alone with nothing, and you're essentially homeless, people will be nice to you. There's the kindness of strangers is a real thing when you're traveling and you look distressed. And the character Jake, he uses that to his advantage to manipulate a lot of people or guilt trip them into giving him a free ride to get him where he needs to be from point A to point B. There's one scene here in particular um, that he does that. That was so interesting. He does that in a particular scene right here where he is he's calling his dad. His dad saying he can't help him because he thinks he's lying about being stranded and wearing a Santa outfit. So he's stuck there. And what happens is that, hold on. And so in this scene, you see this. He's crying. He's making fake tears and crying, saying, "Oh my gosh, I got stranded. I'm so sad. Please help me." And he's doing this whole thing, this whole show for this old lady who happens to hear about him. And he's making up a story saying, that he has an illness. His dad has an illness. He's dealing with something. He needs to get home and support his dad. All these fake tears. So this woman will give him a free ride. And then at one point, to charm her more, she's like, "Oh my gosh, we're going to go see a Tom Jones performances or whatever." And he's like, "Oh, I'm a big Tom Jones fan." And it's a very effective way for her to be convinced to give him a ride. And then another thing I would add is, when he's in the car with all these old ladies, another thing I would add is that, I've done that too. I've had that same, it's a very real thing in my own experience. I remember years ago in my early 20s, I was living in Pennsylvania, and I was going to school in Ardmore, which is a little bit further away from Philadelphia. And I was trying to get home, and I ended up taking the wrong train. It was like around 10 p.m. or so. My phone had died, and I had like only a few dollars to me to pay for a train ticket. So I got a train ticket. I took the train, and I ended up going in the wrong direction and going further into Pennsylvania, like miles away. Like I just was hoping I was on the right side, in the right direction, but the train was just completely. I missed my stop, and I was off somewhere else. And as I got off the train, it was dark. I saw a town, and I was thinking, where can I get cash? And I was just freaking out because in SEPTA, you need to have cash to pay for your tickets. They don't take card at all on SEPTA, so you always have to have cash, which is the most annoying thing ever. As I got off, I was just looking distressed and sad, and then this couple, came up to me and said, "Are you okay? You look so distressed. Everything all right?" I said, "No, I'm just trying to figure out how to get home. I need to get some cash and take a ticket. I took the wrong train." And they said, "Oh my gosh, look here, take our ticket, and this is what you got to do to get from point A to point C, point B. Just do this." And they were giving me directions. They gave me their ticket. They said, "Go on the other side. This is how you're going to get home." They told me, "You look like our son." The couple was a black woman and a white man, and they were well dressed, and they just said, "You remind us of our son." Um, and so they really were wanted to help me, so they paid for their ticket, and they got me home, and it was very good. Um, so that type of guilt, like people, if you need help or support, people will help you with money, or kindness, or give you a trip, or do something. And I've had days where I've been stranded, or whatever, and I've had people offer giving me rides home or to point A to point B, and that kind of still exists. So I think this film, you see this in this scene, and you see it in multiple scenes, um, where characters repeatedly support this guy in his quest to get home. There's this one scene where this guy gets hit by a car by accident, and this other dude um, says, "Hey, I'll help you," and he gives him a ride home. He gives him a ride to a next destination because he feels bad for hitting him, which obviously he should have because there's a lawsuit and it's his fault. And this happens throughout the film. On the bus, there's the scene where the character's like, "Hey, I have a fake, I have a heart, I gotta deliver." Like the Jake, the main character, he uses a fake. Let's see. The character uses Jake. He's on a bus going to New York. He needs to make a pit stop to meet up with his girlfriend, and he tricks the bus driver by saying, "Hey, I have a heart, which is just a slab of meat that I got to deliver." And he guilts the bus driver to say, "There's a girl who's waiting for heart transplant. We got to go." He pushes hard, and they believe her. They believe him, and so they take him to where he needs to go. So yeah, I think the film does a great job of just showing how when you travel in dire straits, you can rely on the kindness of strangers sometimes to help you get from point A to point B.